Accra with Mastercard Foundation that is really trying to tackle this problem for the weekend. What that means is that the job you guys have is really a mission impossible. The honest truth. Honest truth is really a mission impossible. And so I like that you guys are having this conversation because the next level is not really about bold, out of the box solutions. Then it would just be a jamboree. As gallant as your efforts are, as spirited as they are, and as driven as this team is, the honest truth is, you can't create the jobs, right? And so, as I was thinking about this when I got the message yesterday, one of the things that came to my mind is that when you find yourself in a difficult situation like the one we find ourselves in, where the economy is simply not creating or doesn't have the energy to create jobs, what do? And one of the things that came to my mind is we have to think of ways to further integrate all the different initiatives that we have. When we launched the application for the second chapter of Startup Nigeria that we just have commenced, we were shocked at the number of applications we received. I think we literally were considering shutting it down early because it was just unbelievable. Like, this is not Npower now. I think when we shut it down with like 600,000 applications. Now, this program is focused on the North Central, the Southeast, and the Northwest. 40% of the applicants were from regions that we didn't advertise. People literally just trying to do their luck, see whether we'll make a mistake. Even out of the 60% of from regions that we advertised, a little bit of data analysis will point that they were just faking it. They were not even from those regions. And so, I honestly think that the biggest chance to actually solve this problem is to create many micro entrepreneurs. Because there's no industry to absorb these guys. There's just no industry. Yeah. There's no industry. And if you look at the backbone of the American economy, it's driven by SMEs, MSMEs, tradesmen, craftsmen, bakers, hairdressers. And so I honestly think that the work that we're doing, or the work that the Hubs program is doing needs to be more integrally connected with and be viewed as a mechanism to perhaps, whether you call it output or whatever the case may be, at scale. Because you're simply not going to get, and the state government or federal government better not try it, because there's already a debate of minimum wage that we still haven't settled. So it's a cocoon of issues all spread around. And so I think that, how many people is Dangote going to hire? We've reviewed all these things. How many people is, who else is going to hire? Which bank? The banks are not hiring. The banks, in fact, are heading to a catastrophe, because of what's happening with digital, as you all know. And so it's really why catch 22 or catch 44. And as I was really meditating on it, it dawned on me that our best solution is to create a startup nation, a nation of young men and women that become job creators, and are building companies. And they don't have to be the kind of companies that we like to invest in companies. They don't have to be the type of companies that I'm looking to invest in. They can be small companies, that would hire one person or two persons, and hopefully, as we get the economy on the right footing, we can now start talking about more formal jobs. But the conversation around formal jobs now just can't happen. And so, the thing I want to leave you guys with is that, first of all, recognize that you have a very difficult job to do. And after 4 years, after the next level plays out in 4 years, people are going to ask us questions. That what do? Do we just create an entitlement program? or did we actually put people into jobs? Because that's what's important. At some point, the tap is going to have to, if you like, extend it for 6 months or 12 months, it's going to have to shut. The valuation is going to happen, whether you like it or not. Many things are going to happen, and so the joyride cannot last for too long. So the first thing that I'd just like to remind you guys of is that this is a really tough assignment that you have to do, and I'll be rooting for you guys, and I'll be willing to brainstorm with you guys, see how we can perform magic. But one thing that you should think about is how might you create stronger connections amongst all the programs, so that where you have you have a value chain and you can sort of expand the value that you're creating. Let's not think about these programs in isolation. Secondly is, and I'm glad you said that, and I think we've discussed that a few times. Let's think about the end from the beginning, because if you look at how the Npower program is today, why the folks are in the program is actually when they should either be interning or for even the places where the opportunities exist. Yeah. That's where they should be interning and proving that they can get do the jobs, right? So it shouldn't be something we're thinking about at the end of the program. So thinking about the end from the beginning. And finally, I think ultimately entrepreneurship is really the way. So we've got to think about how we're going to scale. And I'm not here, tooting out my own horn of the work that we do, but I honestly think it's the solution. How do we create many thousands of micro enterprises and give them the tools they need to scale? And government might have to maybe foot some of that startup bill, but also that government doesn't want to do, it cannot work. You're just going to continue having this focus on some entitlement train that isn't sustainable. So hopefully you guys, I've spent a full day here. I hope you're galvanized. You have a very passionate leader, and I'm praying for him. I'm praying for him. I'm praying for all of you guys. But I truly think we have a chance to build a startup nation, and that's probably the best chance that we have right now. So thanks for having me. I'm happy to answer any questions, 1 or 2 questions that you might have. Thank you.
Okay. So, from a private sector perspective,
yes,
what would you say is a low-hanging fruit opportunity that government, or let me reduce it, this team can latch on to in respect to everything you said around creating smaller companies, creating new startups?
So brilliant. So I think one opportunity that I've thought about somewhat is really looking at the franchising space. There are several sort of small to medium-sized businesses that if you sort of approach. So think a dry cleaning chain, for instance, right? How might we sort of document best practices for one sort of business that we see as flourishing and say, look, can we create, first of all, is there demand for several more of this type of business? So you sort of standardize all that and systematize it and put a lot more people on that path. For years now, we've also done lots of skills training. Maybe they say they're teaching people how to make beads or whatever, but how do you truly do those things in ways that are scalable and folks can actually go on and you're just looking at those buckets, right, of entrepreneurship and looking at how you can sort of scale them is probably something that I would suggest. The other big two is just focusing on. So ultimately, the way the stack of building a startup works is there's a lot of experimentation at the ideation stage, right? But it's extremely risky because the guy can ideate for 6 months and nothing might come out of it. But in that process of ideation is a lot of learning. The guy might find out through that process that his best as being a member of another team. So you would have natural co-founding relationships start. You have natural employee relationships come out of that. But someone has to foot that bill. Someone has to, and it's your best chance because there's no Dangote to hire people. So it's either you're going to have them doing kidnapping people on Abuja to Kaduna Expressway, or you're going to foot the bill to get them to do something else. You know?
Sorry to put in one. I already say red flag.
Yes.
And we're faced with